Have you ever felt like you're at the very end of your rope? Like you've given everything you have, and there's just nothing left? Today I want to talk about a story that speaks directly to that feeling. A story about radical trust and miraculous provision. It's the story of the widow of Zarephath found in the book of 1 Kings. Imagine the scene. The prophet Elijah, guided by God, arrives at the town of Zarephath. There, he meets a widow gathering a few sticks. He asks her for a drink of water, and then he makes a truly audacious request. He asks her for a piece of bread. Think about that for a moment. This woman is in a desperate situation. She tells Elijah, "I don't have any bread, only a handful of flour in a jar and a little olive oil in a jug. I was gathering a few sticks to take home and make a final meal for myself and my son, so that we could eat it and then die." This wasn't an exaggeration. This was her reality. She was preparing for their last meal, and here comes a stranger, a prophet, asking her to give him some of it first. It seems illogical, even cruel. Who would ask a starving mother to give away her last bit of food? But Elijah's request comes with a promise from God. The jar of flour will not be used up, and the jug of oil will not run dry, until the day the Lord sends rain on the land. Here is the turning point, the moment of truth for this widow. She has a choice. She can cling to the little she has, relying on her own understanding and her desperate circumstances. Or she can choose to trust in a promise that defies all logic. She can put her faith in God, even when it looks completely foolish to the world. And what does she do? She goes away and does as Elijah has told her. This is an incredible act of faith. It's not a faith born from abundance, but a faith that shines brightest in the face of absolute scarcity. And what happens next is the miracle. Just as God promised, her jar of flour never ran out, and her jug of oil never became empty. Every day, there was enough. Not an overflowing warehouse of food, but a daily, consistent provision. Enough for her, enough for her son, and enough for Elijah. This miracle continued for the entire duration of the famine. It's easy to say we trust God when our bank accounts are full and our pantries are stocked. But true faith is tested in the moments of lack, in the moments where we have to choose between our own limited resources and God's unlimited promises. The widow's faith challenges us to ask ourselves, what is our last bit of flour and oil? Maybe it's not food. Maybe it's our time, our energy, our talents, or our finances. We feel like we're running on empty, that we have just enough to get by. And then, God asks us to give, to serve, to be generous, to step out in faith when it feels like we have nothing left to offer. Her story shows that God's economy works differently from ours. In our world, when you give something away, you have less. In God's kingdom, when you give in faith, He multiplies it. He doesn't just replenish what you gave. He provides in ways that sustain you and bless others. The widow of Zarephath didn't have a 5-year plan. She had a next meal faith. She trusted God for her immediate needs, and He proved Himself faithful, one day at a time. This is an invitation for us as well, to release our grip on what we think we need to survive, and to place our trust in the one who provides. So, whatever you're facing today, whether it feels like a famine of hope, resources, or strength, remember the widow. Remember her courage to obey, even when it didn't make sense. Trust that when you give God your last, He can turn it into more than enough. He is faithful. Thanks so much for watching. If this story encouraged you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that I hope will inspire your faith journey. See you in the next video.